Alright guys, welcome to another My Hero Academia, the strongest hero video on the channel today. We've got some more news, this time regarding Endeavour's buffs, tweaks, changes, whatever you want to call it. I was about to go back to sleep, and I checked Twitter, and they dropped this. They dropped this on their Twitter, so I'll leave the link in the description down below if you haven't seen it already or you want to go check it out for yourself. So you can do that. But yeah, I was going to go back to sleep. Turns out they dropped this, so yeah, I'm awake, and yeah, so apologies. I mean, my hero's got me doing like so much, like constantly videos non-stop coming out because there's so much going on. So yeah, dear agents, the following is an important announcement regarding adjustments on Endeavour. Before we do read this, we're not going to full size it because then it gets smaller. We're going to read it like this. Before we do read it, if you can go plus, ultra, and smash the like button. Very much appreciated. But yeah, let's get into it. So greeting, we're not going to click on it. I literally just said we're not going to click on it because it'll get smaller. Gosh. But if we read it now, as greetings agents, thank you for your feedback regarding Endeavour. We have made further adjustments to improve his damage output to make him more attack focused and improved his shield ability so that skillful players may better manage his health to maximize damage. So one thing you need to remember is they wanted to make him different from the CN and Taiwan version of the games. So that means they're probably not going to buff his passive. Like, if they potentially could have before we got the changes, but they clearly stated before they started, doing this in the last kind of like news thing, that they wanted him to be different on the global version of the game than the Taiwan and CN versions of the game. So what I'm guessing is they probably haven't buffed his passive, but they've made him work without the healing ability, which is 100% fine. But as long as he's better and he works, as long as he is more balanced, which is what they're trying to do. So do remember that before you read this, and there's no passive buff, which I'm quickly flicking through with my eyes on the adjustments they've made. And I don't see anything to do with his passive in terms of HP restoration. Just remember he's meant to be different. So I know the healing was a big part of the CN and Taiwan versions of the games, but just remember he's meant to be different than those versions of the game. So we're going to go through them in a minute and see how it works. So before these updates bring Endeavour closer in line with our vision for the character and will result in a more fair gameplay experience for all players. We hope you enjoy these changes, and as a reminder, all tickets spent in attempts to unlock Endeavour and Endeavour EX support cards will be refunded in respective event tickets after the event ends. Players keep everything they pulled. Balance adjustments will be more clearly called out in the future to avoid any miscommunications. So it seems like they have fully learned after the miscommunication of the whole Endeavour event shambles. So it looks like they're learning from their mistakes because they don't literally to avoid any miscommunications, which is fair play. I mean, that's only a good thing, right? So we're going to go through his adjustments, which says there's 8. So the first one, adjusted passive skill unstoppable will. When Endeavour's HP is below 50%, attack bonus will be increased to 4% plus 4% max skill level. By the way, I would look at this on the game in terms of comparison, because I don't know if these adjustments are actually out yet, but I heard there was maintenance on the game. Some people's it's finished for mine it's not finished yet. I still can't get into the game, so we're just gonna have to stick with this. And if you know the actual definitive like changes, like comparisons between what he had before and now, then if you could drop it in the comments or even link me on Twitter, I'll link in the description down below for my Twitter as well. That'd be very much appreciated. So adjusted Q, Fire Lance, one of his big attacks. Of course, you throw it, you go pick it up, increases to the temperature, starts doing more damage. Fire Lance, the lance will now land closer to Endeavour, reducing the time it takes. That's actually a really good change. Because do you know how many times I was using him? I'd watch him throw it, and the lance is just so far away, and I have to go over and run to get it, especially in PvP, where I've got to go run and get it. And then you've got a guy that's, I don't know, maybe using Deku, and they use Deku's Q that they completely decrease that gap. And like you just can't go get it. Like you have to quickly go grab it. So that's actually a really good change. Adjusted W, which consuming flame, which is his that's his kind of like AoE attack where he pulls everyone in and it kind of rises his temperature a lot quicker as well. I think he also gets a defense buff on that as well, by the way, now. Consuming Flame. Endeavour will gain hyper armor on the releasing blow, increasing resist. That's actually sick. As I said, I think he gains a defensive buff and or he either gains a defensive buff or damage reduction. I can't remember which it is while doing his W. And then obviously after you hit it, you're still taking damage while you're doing it, which is obviously fair. But then obviously after you release it, you're kind of like open. So the fact they've added hyper armor on like when you release it and increase the resistance against attacks even more, that's actually pretty sick because that's an attack you need to do to increase that if you want to do AoE attack and also, bring an enemy closer to you and also increase your temperature quicker. You're kind of left in the open, especially after you release the attack. So that's actually a sick change as well. I respect these changes so far. I really do. They've literally adjusted almost every single part of Endeavour for him to be more balanced. So they also adjusted his E, Flashfire Fist in Lance form specifically, which is Flashfire Pillar, enhance the enemy drawing effect. I mean, that's pretty decent as well. That means they're brought closer to you, and that's obviously only a good thing because when you do Flash Fire Pillar, you obviously have that ring of fire around you, and then you have the pillar that goes up. So that's only a good thing. I'll have to, you'd obviously have to play the game to see how much they're drawing in before making a judgment. But off the initial kind of change they've made, that's a pretty decent thing. So adjusted special skill flame resurge when Endeavor's HP is 50% or is below 50%, sorry, gain a shield that is equal to 70% of missing HP. Oh, that's a bit naughty, that one. Again, just as a quick reminder, remember they're not making him the same as he was on the Taiwanese and CN versions of the game. They don't want him to be an unstoppable healing machine. That's not what they've wanted. But you gain a shield that is equal to 70% of missing HP. Damn, that means obviously if you're on 30% HP, that means you literally have a shield worth all of your health back. And even if you're like on the 50% in general, like you're on that minimum, percentage, that means you're getting a shield worth more health than you actually, have altogether. That's not a bad change, That's actually a really good improvement considering the main thing Endeavour on the Taiwanese and CN version of the game was the fact that he could essentially consistently heal. And of course, when he uses his shield, his special ability, which is Flame Resurge, you have a shield where you're taking, I think, either next to no damage, and then after your special finishes, the damage you took, you then recover in HP. But this is equal to 7. That's almost all of your health back. That's actually a really good balancing change for the sole fact that he isn't working the way he is on the other versions of the game, which is consistent healing. That means you can. Endeavor's now a high risk, high reward character. That's essentially what he is now. He does so much damage. Yes, he damages himself in the process, so you can do more damage. But then if you use his special skill at the right time or the right moment, you can make him last a bit longer with how much health he's going to be regaining off his shield, and also avoid the amount of damage you're taking while you're using it, and do even more damage. While you're in you've built up his temperature. That's actually a pretty decent change. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually a really good change. As I said, Endeavour is now a high risk, high reward character. He's no longer a glass cannon. And he if you learn how to play him properly, Endeavour can be pretty dangerous. The next change is optimizes Endeavor's auto. Thank you. Do you know what? The other day I literally took Endeavor off my co-op Warzone team, or like just both co-op teams, because his AI was just so stupid. Like, don't get me wrong, the AI in terms of auto battling for you aren't the best anyway, but for some reason they would just, they would throw the lance. Sometimes they wouldn't pick it up, and then which is ridiculous. And then sometimes when they're losing health, they would just they wouldn't use the shield. They wouldn't be smart about how essentially, if you took him into co-op, he literally would die as quick as he comes out. And that's just the way that the AI behave. Again, you would have to play to see how these, specifically the AI auto battle changes, work. So yeah, that is a very welcome change. But as I said, you would have to play the game and test it and co-op battles to see how it, the real change and see how he performs. But next one is fixed an issue where Endeavour was losing 2% HP per second instead of 1% in Lance form. So that means you're going to be losing less HP while in his Lance form, which is only a good thing. I mean, I know it's only 2% down to 1%, but it's still less health you're using, which is only a good thing. And then the final one, number 8, fixed an issue where passive skill True Color wouldn't activate under certain conditions. I didn't know that was an issue. I can't lie. I didn't know that was an issue at all, but if it was, fair play for fixing it. I mean, let me have a quick look at the comments before we do go. Lol, I bet everyone that's complaining haven't played a single gacha game in their life. Am I dumb, or I don't find the part where he finally becomes but he finally becomes his healing. Okay, I get what you mean. This is a joke. You guys didn't buff the most important thing we asked for. I mean, Endless has got it. Bro, they clearly said they don't want the character to be a full healing machine. They want it to be a high risk. Yeah, even he says it. High risk, high reward. If you don't understand how good this kit is for all game modes, then there's nothing to do. Yeah, these notes are actually, these patch notes or buffs for Endeavour are actually really, really good. Like, in terms of all-round balancing for what they want for him now, it's actually really good changes. So fair play to the dev team. Fair play. I mean, this is only a good thing. They literally balance out every part of his kit. So fair play. I respect these changes. Of course, you're only really going to see how, how good he is or how well these changes work once you get to use him. Listen, I currently can't play the game because my maintenance is still going. So whenever these changes do drop, or if they've dropped already after this maintenance, then yeah, we can get to using him, get to testing him. Maybe I can start using him again in co-op, and especially now that his AI is fixed. But if these changes are already out, I'm not sure if they're already out. If they are already out, if you can let me know how he plays, that would be sick. If you do have him, if they're not out yet, then we just wait, and I look a bit silly. But yeah, I'm gonna end this one here. If you have enjoyed, as always, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you're new around it, turn the bell on to be notified when I drop new videos. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.